Now, I know that you've heard me say many times, or you've read or listened on the tapes, that loving yourself is the most powerful thing we can do. Then everything flows. Everything flows beautifully. And I'm not talking about vanity or arrogance, because that is not love. That's always fear. I'm talking about just really respecting and appreciating this incredible, magnificent being that we are.
As Henry Ford said, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. There are going to be times in your life where it literally seems like the world is coming after you. And in those moments, if rather than panic, if rather than letting your mind run away from you, rather than getting bitter or angry or frustrated,
I figured out the one piece I was missing. I thought it was cars. I thought it was women. I thought it was money. I thought it was everything. The one piece I was missing was me having the courage to face myself. I made this person. I made this person by diving into the insecurities that life gave me. Because now they're yours. They're yours to own. If you're not smart, call yourself dumb. It's okay. If you're fat, call yourself fat. I used to be 300 pounds. We want to talk so soft to ourselves. We're looking for that recovery day. It's not coming. And that's the mentality I took with me. It wasn't like someone came down here and guided me through life. When you figure this out on your own, the amount of pride and dignity and self-respect you have.
if you remember in those times that forcing yourself to push through it, forcing yourself to find the opportunity, forcing yourself to find the lesson in that is going to be the very thing that gives you lift. It's actually constraints. It's having restrictions. It's having difficult times. Those are the things that allow people to really find and tap into the thing that's going to allow them to achieve what they want to achieve, because it's going to push you. If you want to achieve something great in your life, you've got to be going into the hard places. You've got to be facing down the difficult things. You've got to be going down that road that is intrinsically difficult. It's untamed. It's wild. And in that sense that it's coming after you, in that sense that you've entered truly hostile territory, in that is the very thing that's going to lift you up and allow you to do what other people haven't done. That's exactly why the terrain seems hostile. That's exactly why it seems like things are crashing down around you.
When you want to become a diamond, your whole attitude change, your whole mindset, your thinking, your relationships, the decisions that you make, how you spend your time, your energy, all of it changes. See, this is something that you can't be in this business. This business has to be in you.
I'm asking you to keep a journal. I call it one of the 3 treasures to leave behind. Let me give you that. Number 1 is your pictures. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Don't be lazy in capturing the event. How long does it take to capture the event? A fraction of a second. Take lots of pictures. Help tell the story. When you're gone, one of the things to leave behind, the treasure in picture as well as in words. Next, your library. The library that you gathered, that taught you, that instructed you, that helped you to defend your ideals, that helped you to become wealthy and powerful and healthy and sophisticated and unique. The library that caused you to walk away from the ghetto. The library, the books that instructed you. Leave your library behind. One of the greatest gifts you can leave behind. Stepping stones out of the darkness into the light. But leave your books behind. And third is your journal. Wherever you found an occasion to gather something valuable and put it in here so you could go back over it. Repetition is the mother of skill. Let it coach you one more time. Let it teach you one more time. If you hear a beautiful song that does something to you, you don't say, well, that's enough. Don't need to hear that again. Wouldn't you want to hear it again, hear it again, hear it again? Let it instruct you, take you on wings of emotional journeys. Wouldn't you want to do that again? The answer is yes. That's what's so important. One of the greatest proofs that you're a serious student. Buying a book at a bookstore, that's pretty easy. Here's one that's a little more challenging. Be student enough to take the time to keep the notes and keep the journal. What a treasure to leave behind when you go. I'm asking you to be no less sincere and be no less committed to the advancement of your philosophy, the set of the sail. Start with the refinement of your philosophy. Start with the teaching of your own fabulous mind, where all the answers are. The rest of all the magical answers are within the confines of your own mind, but it takes the books, it takes the videos, personal conversation, dialogue from the movie. Let your heart be stirred by words. Find ways to capture it. Isn't this good stuff? I'm telling you, this stuff changed my life. I've never been the same since the teacher gave me some of this simple instruction. How to go from where you are to where you want to go. How to go from pennies to treasure. It's all within the confines of this stuff that I've been trying to share with you.
The moment that you understand that the people that you have around you, they're either your number one asset or, to be honest with you, they could be your number one liability. But the moment that you understand that and begin to value people, I think that is what creates the connection. Because the moment that, I think we all know, don't you, Tom, don't you think you know when a person values you and when a person doesn't value you? And so I think that giving value to people and expressing that to them is the common ground that builds relationships. And so, yeah, when I came in the studio, I wanted to meet everybody because you've got an incredible, successful program, and I want to meet the people who help you be who you are.
I love that. What got you so obsessed with leadership? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, traveling all over the world.
Right.
It's pretty extraordinary. And to go from starting in a small town as a pastor to what you've accomplished now, what is it that drives you?
Well, in 1974, I came to the conclusion that everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, the reason I did that is because I started off as a pastor, and by the time I was 28, I had the 10th largest church in America.
Whoa.
And so people would come to me and say, well, how did you do this? And I came to the conclusion that I learned leadership. I was a good leader. And the day that I became convinced that everything rises and falls on leadership is the day I said, that's what I'm going to give my life to. Because think about it. If that is true, that in the business world, in the education world, in the government world, in every world, if you can just help people lead better, you're going to help them be more successful. And when I wrote the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, that first law, the law of the lid, which basically says how well you lead determines how well you succeed, I truly believe that. And so what better thing can I do than to help people increase their influence, learn how to lead better, so that they can be more successful in whatever area of life they really want to be successful in.
You're like a Navy SEAL. You've got the mission plan, now you execute it. Here's the key. The more you do difficult things, the more you'll be brilliant at doing difficult things. You get better at what you practice. All genius has a dark side. So whether it's a Beethoven or a Buffett, whether it's a Federer or a Serena Williams, whether it is a Jean-Michel Basquiat or a Ferran Adria, the things that allow for genius all have a downside or a dark side. Here's some examples. Someone who is absolutely brilliant at execution has a dark side to manage of impatience. Someone like Steve Jobs, who is a fanatical perfectionist, could be seen as demanding. Someone who is amazingly creative could self-sabotage with too many ideas. The key is this: honor your gift, manage the downside.
When you're in the military, you have this discipline. And beyond the discipline that's imposed on you, you also have a lot that you have to just hold the line yourself. I mean, when you're in the military, sure, you go through boot camp where there's a drill instructor that's yelling and all that, but once you're in the military, you're doing what you have to do. It's self-discipline, that you learn that and you become self-disciplined. And what happens is guys get out and that's gone, and that hurts them. And the other thing that hurts them is they don't know what their mission is anymore. Mm-hmm. And my big thing with people that I've been telling vets now is find what your next mission is. Go find whatever your next mission is. And I don't care what it is, but it has to be something. When people are not going anywhere, when they're failing, when they don't have the drive, it's because they're not accepting responsibility for anything. And so my way of saying that is like, you need a new mission. You need to be responsible for something, and you need to go and move towards some new mission.